There is a brutal statistic in this industry that nobody likes to talk about, but we have to start here. It's called the 90-90-90 rule. 90% of retail traders will lose 90% of their money within their first 90 days. It's terrifying. But here's the question that changes everything. What are the other 10% doing? And more importantly, what are the top 1%, the ones making life-changing wealth, doing differently? Spoiler alert, it's not a magic indicator. It's not insider information, and it definitely isn't luck. Today, we are tearing down the charts and looking at the actual psychology and mathematics that separate the gamblers from the professionals. We are going to cover the 4 specific secrets that will take you from the 99% to the 1%. Secret 1. Be the house, not the gambler. Imagine walking into a casino. Who makes the money? Is it the guy at the roulette table screaming for red? No. He might win tonight, but if he plays for a year, he goes broke. The winner is always the casino. The house. Why? Because the house has an edge. They know that on every spin, they have a statistical advantage of maybe 2 or 3%. They don't care if they lose a single hand. They don't cry when the player wins $100. Because they know over 1,000 spins, the math guarantees they win. To be in the 1%, you have to stop thinking like the gambler and start acting like the house. This is called thinking in probabilities. When a 1% trader places a trade, they aren't thinking, I hope this goes up. They are thinking, this setup has a 60% chance of working over the next 100 times I take it. This detachment is your superpower. When you accept that trading is just a numbers game, a loss isn't a failure anymore. It's just the cost of doing business. It's just one spin of the wheel. If you're realizing right now that you've been trading like a gambler, hit that like button. It helps the algorithm find other traders who need to hear this truth. Secret 2. The art of losing. Risk management. This is the boring part that everyone skips, but it is literally the only reason professional traders survive. Let's look at the math of a drawdown. If you lose 50% of your account, how much do you need to make to get back to break even? Most people say 50%. Wrong. You need to make 100% just to get back to where you started. If you lose 90% of your account, you need a 900% return to recover. That is impossible. The secret of the 1% is that they are obsessed with defense, not offense. George Soros, one of the greatest traders ever, said, "It's not whether you're right or wrong, but how much money you make when you're right, and how much you lose when you're wrong." This is called asymmetric risk-reward. The 1% never enter a trade unless the potential reward is at least 2 or 3 times the risk. If I risk $100 to make $300, I can be wrong 70% of the time and still break even or make money. The 99% scalp for pennies and risk dollars. The 1% risk pennies to make dollars. Stop trying to be right all the time. Start trying to be profitable. Secret 3. The boring strategy. Let's talk about strategy. If you look at the screens of the top traders in the world, you know what you'll see? You won't see 15 indicators, Bollinger Bands, RSI, MACD, and Elliott waves all cluttering the screen. You will usually see price action, volume, and maybe one moving average. The 1% have realized that complexity is the enemy of execution. The more variables you have, the harder it is to make a decision under pressure. This leads to analysis paralysis. They master one setup. Maybe it's a breakout retest. Maybe it's a supply and demand zone flip. They master it so well, they can spot it in their sleep. They become a sniper, not a machine gunner. They wait and wait and wait. And when their specific setup appears, they execute without hesitation. If the setup isn't there, they don't trade. The 99% feel the need to be in a trade every day to feel productive. The 1% get paid for their patience, not their activity. Secret 4. The inner game. Psychology. We have covered math, risk, and strategy. But this final secret is what kills the most careers. You can give a losing trader a winning strategy, and they will still lose money. Why? Because of emotional intelligence. Trading is the ultimate mirror. It reflects every insecurity, every fear, and every greedy impulse you have. When the market moves against you, your brain's amygdala, the fear center, activates. It triggers a fight or flight response. You freeze. You move your stop loss, hoping it comes back. You double down to make it back. The 1% have trained their brains to override this biology. How? They journal. I don't mean writing, "I bought Apple today." I mean deep psychological journaling. I felt anxious when I entered. I exited early because I was afraid of losing profit. I revenge traded because I was angry at the market. Data is the antidote to emotion. By tracking your mistakes, you stop them from becoming habits. The 1% treat trading as a high-performance sport. They review the game tape. If you aren't reviewing your trades, you aren't a trader. You're just clicking buttons. The 1% is a process, not a destination. So let's bring this all together. Becoming the 1% isn't about finding a holy grail system that never loses. That doesn't exist. The 1% formula is this. Mindset. Adopt the casino mentality. Think in probabilities. Risk. Protect your capital at all costs. Survive to play another day. Focus. Master one simple setup and execute it flawlessly. Psychology. Master your emotions through journaling and self-review. It sounds simple, but simple is not easy. It requires showing up every single day, doing the boring work, managing your risk, and checking your ego at the door. The challenge. Here is my challenge to you for the next 30 days. Trade small. So small that the money doesn't scare you. Focus entirely on executing your plan perfectly. If you break your rules, you stop for the day. See if you can go 30 days without making an emotional mistake. That is how you start your journey to the 1%. If you found value in this, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. We are going to be diving deeper into specific risk management strategies in the next video, and you don't want to miss that.